guess for me, it's like diving into the world of meditation. Where would one even begin? Because it's like, I'll go lay on the couch for 10 minutes and close my eyes. But like, is that the same thing as doing like the formula or, something like that?
Well, that's a really great point. Turns out the third thing about meditation that I didn't get to at the beginning is you're answering that question, and that is to learn how to change your brainwaves. And when you're aroused, you're in this beta brainwave pattern. It's a very, very high beta brainwave pattern. And that arousal is when you're feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of depression, a lot of resentment. That's when the brain is super alert. Like it's got all of its attention on the outer environment. That's where the danger, that's where the cause is. And some people, when they get in that state, they overanalyze. And they can't slow their brain down, and they overfocus, and they try to control, and they try to predict, and they have the perception that everything's going to get worse in their life, and so they get ready for the worst thing all the time. And that's what you do when you're in survival, right? So when we're in that state, we become overfocused. We narrow our focus on the material world. The chemicals cause us to become materialists, and our senses are heightened, and our senses plug us into reality. So now we're more engaged in the 3D world. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't stay there for a period of time. We found out that when you do this when you go to sleep. What do you do when you go to sleep? You just kind of lay there, and then you stop thinking. And that you think of nothing. And when you think of nothing, you actually fall asleep.
And you restore.
and if you can't stop thinking, you actually can't go to sleep. So you can't slow your brainwaves down because you stay in that kind of analytical state. And our data shows that when you're in that analytical state and you're aroused by some emotion, you will actually make your brain worse because the analysis is actually making the chemicals for you to get more aroused, and you drive yourself further into these higher states because you're overfocused. So we said, okay, let's have people do the exact opposite. Let's have them focus on nothing, because that's what you do when you go to sleep. We'll just go from that narrow focus to kind of a broadened focus and just sense nothing, sense space, right? And the act of doing that actually slowed the brain waves down into mid-range beta, low-level beta, and then all of a sudden into alpha. Now, once you cross from beta to alpha, you go from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind. Now, what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is actually the analytical mind. So when you're analyzing and thinking, you're in this beta brainwave pattern, you close your eyes and you start relaxing, your inner world starts becoming more real than your outer world, and your brain stops talking to you like the chatter in your head. And so that analysis tends to suppress, and you start to see more in images and pictures. You get creative. That's alpha.
Yeah, you're like in a VR world.
Yeah, exactly. If you can let yourself fall into a light sleep while you're sitting there, you move into this theta brainwave pattern, and that tends to be when the door between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is wide open. There's no editor. So you could actually rewrite a program. You could actually install a new rehearsal, a new way of being. That's exactly how we rewrite the program. So we teach people how to regulate through those states, and just before you fall asleep on the couch, we want you right at that point where you haven't fallen asleep, but you could. And right there, if you can stay relaxed in your heart, and we can teach you how to do that, while you stay awake in your brain, you can make some really dramatic changes, because when you have no analytical mind, you're suggestible to information. And what is suggestibility? Your ability to accept it, believe it, to surrender to it as if it's the truth without analyzing it. And that's what actually programs the autonomic nervous system. So we teach people how to regulate their brain states so that they can reprogram.
Yeah, you're getting into like the spot where you can change your life.
You can't do it in beta. Because you're outside the operating system. And in fact, you can say, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm free. And that thought never makes it past the brainstem to the body, because the body's saying, no, you're not. You're miserable. You're unhappy. You're in fear. That you're not affirming anything that the body is agreeing with. So you get a person into a state of gratitude. Well, that's a very interesting emotional state, because when you receive something, or you just receive something favorable, something wonderful happened to you, or something wonderful is happening to you, you feel this intense feeling of gratitude. So its emotional signature is something wonderful is happening to you. You feel gratitude, I guarantee you will accept, believe, and surrender to those thoughts that you're thinking. And that will actually program the autonomic nervous system into a different outcome. So we got to get that person in that state of receivership, right? And so meditation and changing your brain waves is an important element.